Hello and welcome to the KaineKast Kodpast. We've been away for a couple of weeks because I had the Rona, but we're back and we've got quite a bit to talk about, if nothing in particular. How are you doing, guys?
Well, I'm okay. I think Rage was okay until just before starting to record this, when his entire setup decided to go haywire.
Yeah, everything just stopped working, so I was very, very, very angry. But now I'm back in business, and hopefully there'll be no more fuck-ups with this.
There's no music stand for him to demolish this time, sadly.
That's a lie spread by my political opponents to try and ruin me ahead of the next general election. It's never happened.
So, what's happened in the last week and a bit that I've been off?
Where do we start? We tracked the lead guitars for the album. That's a pretty big deal.
That's a good start.
Saturday I was there, and how many songs did we get through on Saturday? Was it like 7?
It's
got to be about 7 on the first day, and I wasn't there for the second day.
Toby, the way that Toby did it was, we got all the rhythms done bar 2, and then we got all the got the remainder of the rhythms done on the Sunday, and all the leads and solos as well on the Sunday. So we were busy.
And we've just got those lead guitar tracks, or getting them to the guy who's mixing it at the moment, and Talon, who's editing it as well. So we should be making some progress. I've been working hard on the lyrics and the singing. Well, I had been until this week happened, and this week's just been a nightmare. So I've intended to do it, and I've not actually once written a single word in anger, come up with any vocal melodies properly, and I've had no sort of opportunity to play guitar either. It's just been an absolute nightmare every week for me. So yeah, I'm a bit behind, but what I want is for the tracks to be more or less ready to go before I record vocals to them anyway. So I've still got some time before I'm really behind. But this is what happens when you have a global pandemic in the middle of an album, because had we not, we'd have probably finished the cunt fucking 6
It'd probably
months
be
ago.
out by now.
Yeah.
I mean, considered COVID, it's been a pretty fast turnaround in terms of sitting down in the studio, getting the stuff done, and coming out of the studio.
The problem was I want to say the 4 months we actually had off of rehearsals really put us behind.
Yeah.
The other thing that's kind of put us behind is we normally like to road test the songs live, or we've not really had an opportunity. So a lot of the stuff that we'd normally do to sort of whittle out the bad bits and change, we've not had the opportunity to do it as much with this album. And for example, the singing and playing element, which is the bit that's driving me mad, and when the songs are quite complex, and I haven't had a whole lot of time to kind of work out what works live, because it's one thing to be able to play it in the studio and then sing on top of it in the studio, but it's another thing to be able to do it live at the same time. So that's really been the biggest challenge for me on this album. So that's going to take a bit more time to get right. But other than that, we've done the lead guitars, we recorded them, and that went reasonably well. I think the Sunday session is the first ever recording session with Kaine that I've missed, and that's purely because it was a Sunday, and the between the trains and whatever else, I'd never got there to be able to do it. So that's pretty much it, really. With that, Liam was there for the day with the solo. I've not even heard the solos myself. I've not even heard any of the guitar harmonies.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised you've not been sent those.
Well, I haven't. The link has sort of been passed between. I can download them at some point, but I've had no time. Just absolutely no time.
Yeah.
This new job is actually taking my life away at the moment, which is quite frustrating in some respects. But it pays me money, and music doesn't. So that's why.
And money is needed.
Why I'm here. But yeah, that element was successful. Then of course we had the first proper gig back at Coda, which you unfortunately missed, in Colchester. Was that 2-3 weeks ago now, I think? And that
Yeah, I'm absolutely gutted about that, because I was really looking forward to it. A gig right on my back doorstep, and I had to get fucking coronavirus.
Oh man,
classic gig.
It's a shame, because it was such a fucking great gig as well.
Yeah, it was pretty mad.
Yeah, I could tell.
It was, you had bloody mosh pits going on, people going absolutely crazy. A good turnout for all the bands. Everyone was in a really good mood in terms of what the audience wanted. It was just good. It was a good night. The sound was good. The venue was good.
It was Arthur. His name wasn't it? It was the sound man. Absolutely fucking superb job.
So it just sounded great. It looked great, apart from my sweat. Everyone was in a good mood with that. So yeah, it was a good triumphant return to gigging, and hopefully we'll have the same thing at Switchfest, which is coming up at the end of the month.
Yes.
Which should be
returning to the music room in Ipswich.
Yeah, this time you don't have to be sat down like a arsehole. You can actually go and enjoy yourself. So those who want to come along, I think it's free entry. I haven't actually checked. Get involved.
Definitely get involved.
I think we're meant to be headlining that, aren't we? I can't fucking
I
remember.
think we're headlining it, yeah.
You were at the top of the bill when I checked.
Yeah,
it
but
the other
it's
day,
Facebook.
So I'm assuming
We
that's
could be
headlining.
opening on Facebook.
I believe we are headlining it.
I think Darren did say we were at the last gig we played there. I think he did communicate that, but all I heard was so
yeah, sadly that was one. Yeah, when we played the music room last, that was one thing that we I wasn't so fortunate with, was being able to actually hear anything.
Yeah, it's one of those things, but yeah, I'm looking forward to playing that, assuming that it's going to be a full-on live gig with no social restrictions, and the government hasn't locked us down by the end of the month. Yeah, looking forward to it. So that's the 28th?
Yeah, the 28th, yeah.
28th, yeah. And that's from 2 p.m. till silly o'clock in the morning, I think. So no worries about curfews there. We're just going to have a good time.
Hell yeah.
Play some loud heavy metal, and hopefully we'll see as many of you out as possible. Yeah, so that's some good news. Coda went great. Lead guitar recording, well, from what I heard, was going well. I'm sure Liam can confirm whether it was good or not.
When you hear it, it's going to be you're going to like it. So don't worry.
How many licks are there going to be in that?
One half lick. Or like,
did you get the shot collar to keep him in place?
No, but we did. Me and Wayne worked together to stop him from doing it.
Just to jab him in the eye with a screwdriver or something. That's usually how I
not
work.
that far. But yeah, no, it sounds awesome, and yeah, there's I would say more a 3/4 lick than a half lick. It's 2 notes off of being the lick.
That sounds like
a semi-lick.
It's a semi-lick.
The more I think about this as a concept, the more odd it becomes. I should stop thinking about things more than I should do. 3/4 of a lick away from what? Prison sentence.
Have you guys read any of the comments from last week's episode?
I haven't. I've not looked at it.
I did when they came up, but right now, this second, fucked if I can remember any of that. So fire them at me, and I'll give you some great responses.
Well, Mazina's said that we need a full podcast episode of Rage trying to pronounce things. Hours of entertainment.
Oh yeah, it's so funny hearing me say things. Yeah, like there's some big joke. It was pointed out to me, you know the things that live in trees that roll around? I call them woodlets, right? And apparently, you normal people, call them woodlice.
Yes.
What do you call them?
Woodlets. Woodlouse.
But louse
is singular and lice is plural.
Louse.
Yeah.
Why are you
just
adding? Why are you adding letters into it?
There's no letters.
Why are you making it more German than it already is?
But they're not lice.
Well, they are if they're plural.
No, they're not. Lice is a specific species of things. They're not lice, are they? You don't get woodlets living in your hair.
No, that's louse.
Woodlets.
Louts.
Louse is one. Lice is plural.
What?
Louse is one. Lice is plural.
Who gives a shit?
So you're actually right. Apart from the fact that you're adding a letter, which I just find funny because you're just making it more of an arseache for yourself to pronounce.
I don't know how. How's it an arseache? Say woodlet instead of woodlouse.
I'm just a bit confused.
See, that's why this is.
I don't know what just happened then. There were words. They were all words, but I'm not sure exactly what was going on.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing start, isn't it?
So a whole episode of that probably wouldn't be the best thing. people aren't going to want to hear that, I don't think.
No. It could have fat in between the schedule, though.
You can fat it in where you like.
That was still the funniest. that nothing will top that. That was hilarious.
If you do a fat something in somewhere,
no, I fitted.
you fat it in.
See, that one kind of makes sense.
Everything I say makes sense. This is why I have a podcast.
This is true. This is the real words of Rage
Oh,
Santa.
imagine words with rage.
Oh, Christ.
Is this another game show
We
idea?
need-
Because we've had many good game show ideas
Do
recently.
not mention that again, because that fucking killed me. The more I think about that, the more plausible it becomes as a game show.
I'd watch it.
Louis Armstrong or Arnold Schwarzenegger. You
I
decide.
I was
Shit.
thinking about, those old, well, I say old because they're not actually from that long ago, but the old movie stars, very few of them could
Yeah.
talk properly, because you had Sylvester Stallone,
Yep.
who I can't understand, period.
Yep.
I can't fucking understand a word of what he
No,
says.
I can't either.
And then there's obviously Arnold Schwarzenegger, which just sounds like a wood chipper. As- what is he saying?
It's not an adjective that I would have used to describe it, but it's actually strangely accurate.
Then there's like Sean Connery. There's no other Scotsman ever who's ever sounded like
No,
that.
there is not.
He just puts like in things that shouldn't have it. I want to go to that. Shut up. Like, what does that mean? Why are you're clearly not drunk all of the time. You're clearly not like Sylvester. So why are you?
Well, something's caused this
He just
slurring.
doesn't talk properly. They all had stupid voices, didn't they?
Yeah.
I can't. The more I think about it, the more ridiculous these people sound. And we just put them on TV. Now all the kids can't talk anymore. Then we listen to that shit. Fucking terrible. Anyway, what were we talking about before I went off on a tangent about how movie stars couldn't talk back in the day? Who could? Like, Michael Caine couldn't talk. Christopher Walken definitely can't
No,
talk. Like, where the
Christopher
fuck is
Walken
he
can't
from?
talk.
Christopher Walken ain't good at
No,
talking.
but where's he from? What accent is that?
It's a good question. Is it
New
New
York,
York?
maybe?
He sounds like he could be from New York, but he also sounds like he could be from the fucking Netherlands. Like, how would you discern which is which with that accent?
They're basically the same, aren't they?
In the world of Christopher Walken, yes. In the rest of the world, no. No, they're not. Who else was there that couldn't talk properly? That was a big star back in the day. I'm trying to think.
Why can't I think of any of them?
Tommy Wiseau.
Oh,
famously
yes.
Cannot
Yes,
speak
that guy that
at
everyone
all.
fucking knows. The guy who made the world's worst fucking movie. Yes. Household name, that.
It is a household
He
name
is.
because he wrote the world's worst
For
movie.
better or for worse,
Most-
he is a household name
Most
now.
people don't know who the fuck he is. Robin Williams could kind of speak, I suppose.
Robin Williams
He was
Robin Williams was better than most.
Robbie Williams!
Robbie Williams definitely couldn't speak.
I never
Let me
said
entertain
Robbie,
you.
but okay. No, he's another one who can't talk. He's like probably the most. He's the most non-Mank sounding Mank. I think.
I don't think I don't think he's from Manchester, was
Yeah,
he?
he's a Mank.
Is he? I don't think so.
I know that the rest of Take That are from Manchester. I'm pretty sure he's from Manchester
One
as
thing
well.
that really makes me laugh about Robbie Williams is the amount of sort of conspiracy theory documentaries that he's randomly surfaced in. He's in a few UFO ones. He's like big into aliens, but he's also into the sort of the ghost investigation type stuff, like the paranormal things. So I was watching like I'll have to try and find it again, but it's basically Robbie Williams walking around a haunted house.
Why does that exist? Who is that for?
Who is that
making
for?
this? Who wants to see
I
that?
don't know, for me apparently, but I saw a clip of it on YouTube and I'm like, that's absolute gold.
Well, like, it annoys me because, okay, I understand we're, not the most mainstream sounding musicians in the world, but the fact that gets fucking made into television makes you wonder who the fuck is deciding this shit. Like, in the world of entertainment, where they say, oh, these bands are no good, but Robbie Williams knocking about in a house at night, well, let's watch that. That's worth £1 million worth of investment, isn't it?
Yep.
Fuck. Kill me now.
It's good TV.
No. Shit. Fucking shit as usual. That television is a waste of arse. Right.
A waste of arse.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rage Sadler 2021.
So, you know what I'd say? I'd say you can take that and stick it up your backside.
Which end?
Whichever end you like it, sir. Should we go to the next comment?
I was just about to say that. There's a nice long one from Chris Stewart that, if I'm to summarise it, he's basically said he was really sort of happy with the Colville gig. He'd never thought he'd go to a place with a hanging motorbike, a bird's nest, a bird, or made someone throw up. So the vomit was somehow his fault. The vomit we never got to the bottom of.
Well, he got to the bottom of it because obviously he's made the... my money's on the certain character being the one.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, and I think you're right.
What, the anti-Semitic, terrible South Park impersonator?
We weren't going to say it, but okay.
He was pretty anti-Semitic, yes. Yeah, that guy. I'm pretty sure he was the culprit with the old sick in the old toilet.
So damn close as well.
Yeah,
he got so close.
There was pook everywhere, wasn't there? He fucking...
Yes, I know. I went to have a piss and was greeted with that.
Just everywhere. Just like... Oh.
Yeah, just absolutely everywhere. Just like, oh, right, okay.
Yeah, my money's on him being the guy who did it. He was the only one in that kind of condition, other than you, Liam, of course.
I was going to say, I was fucked as well that night, but... yeah, no, I that was not me.
No.
I mean, you didn't smell like sick, so... That was kind of my way of trying to tell when you leaned in to grab a drink or something. I'm like, no, that wasn't him.
My favourite moment, aside from the fact Liam blamed me for everything that you were doing to him all night, the favourite thing about it is when he had 2 pints in front of him, and at first he's arguing, saying, I haven't ordered 2 pints, and then he manages to knock one over. I've spilled my pint. It's like, well, one minute you weren't fucking sure it was yours, the next minute you're fucking angry because you spilled it. It's like, make your mind up. Is it yours or not?
I mean, I wasn't going to let it go to waste.
No, you did. You spilled it everywhere.
Until I spilt it, yeah.
It's not like
how much of that instant do you remember, Liam?
I remember pretty much all of it, actually. The only thing, right, when because the way I spilled it was that I picked up 1 pint and then somehow managed to spill the other. Were they tied together with something?
Yeah, I tied them together with a face mask.
I thought you did. I thought you fucking did.
I was going to say something, but it was just so much funnier that you hadn't figured out.
Oh, it's just more... I just saw the fact he's going, oh, this is definitely not my pint. I've only ordered 1. It's definitely not my pint. Whose pint is that? It's definitely not mine.
Yes, I become Ozzy Osbourne when I'm drunk.
He spills it everywhere. You fucking spilled my pint! It's like, well, it wasn't yours a minute ago. Now it's on the floor. Suddenly it's a problem. Like, I was spilling drink all over myself. There was no issues there.
You were spilling something all over yourself. I'm not sure whether it was a drink or not, just based on how it fucking smelled.
It tasted like Listerine. I have no idea. I was probably gagging on Castrol GTX or something. I probably was drinking engine oil. It's just fucking terrible. But
that's what that fucking Sambuca tasted like that matey kept fucking buying.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It was probably Sambuca then.
It was probably Sambuca.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Because that does taste like lighter fluid.
Yeah. And I tried to gargle it, ended up laughing and spitting it all over myself. I was very damp.
That would have probably melted through your shirt in no time.
To be honest, it just felt a bit damp for a bit, but it dried out pretty quick, so I don't really care. I just smelled like, the inside of a toilet I had a toilet duck wrapped around me or something. Toilet duck? Why do they feel the need to put animals on brands like that? Like, who thinks, shit, I need a shit, duck, clean it?
I mean, ducks are the Queen's toilet paper.
Are they?
Yeah, she can legally wipe her ass on any duck that happens to be wandering through the palace.
I thought that was the banned swans she owned, not ducks.
Oh no, she eats them.
She eats the banned swans. Someone has to.
You don't shit where you eat, do you?
Well, speaking of shit, and I've actually got the picture on my phone somewhere. So on my way back, because you know how I see these things. So on my way back home from work today, I walked past a pile of used toilet paper with like human shit covered all over them, and I'm thinking, how this is like in the middle of the wilderness on the way back home as well. I was like, what the fuck has happened here, and why? Why is there a pile of used toilet paper with human shit all over it? Someone has literally run up a country path and shit themselves, but for some reason had access to, like, you know, fucking Andrex or something. Like, it's like they took it with them, knowing that this would be a situation they'd be involved with. Like, normally if you need a shit in the bush, you just
toilet paper out in order to shit themselves.
Yeah, normally you just get caught short. You have to either annihilate your trousers or aim better. You know.
Maybe they were walking home from going for a shop and they'd just bought a fresh packet of toilet paper and they were like, hang on,
but I'm
touching cloth.
This is a long way away from anywhere you'd be able to buy that stuff. It's just a weird. It was it's like a country lane I take as a shortcut on the way home.
Maybe it's that someone's gone out with the specific purpose of shitting.
I just don't know. It just seemed it stank. That's what really sort of...
Yeah.
First, because obviously I can't see very well. I was like, that smells like shit. And obviously I look across and go, that's why it smells like shit. Whip my camera out, take a picture. The local cyclist was looking at me like I'm some sort of weirdo. I thought, I'll put it on Facebook later. Obviously I forgot to put it on Facebook.
Until now.
Yeah, well, this isn't Facebook.
I mean, knowing Facebook, it's probably for the best that you didn't.
I'm going to put it on there. It's going up. It's going on there. Because it's one of those things people say, you didn't see that. No, I fucking did. I've always seen it. If I say it's happened, it fucking has happened. That's the sad thing. All of my traumatising experiences are 100% real. And I can't sleep at night because of them. I never know when Bush shit man's going to come and stick his arse in my face.
His face
in my arse.
His face in your...
Go on, bury yourself, lad. I've had a curry tonight.
Breathe it in, son.
Breathe in my sweaty balls. But shall we?
That's a statement and a half.
Where are we going? Oh yeah, so we're talking about the guy being sick. Is there any other questions while we're here discussing? The gig went all right for those who... I don't know, have we talked about Colville? I think we did last time.
Yeah, we talked about it last time.
Yeah, we spoke about Colville. It's the gig afterwards that I think people are interested in now.
Yeah, we kind of covered it. I mean, Mercury Rising were great. Osmond Guillotine were great. We did all right. So ultimately, it was a good gig.
Yeah.
It was normal. It was like going back to the real world after all this bollocks, you know. And
well, I will say, actually, you know, we touched briefly on how good a job the sound man did. That was, I think I said to you before, it was the first and only time I've ever seen Osmium Guillotine since I've known them where I could hear both lead guitars.
Yeah, and there wasn't a shit ton of feedback as well.
Yeah.
No.
You say that was Arthur?
Yes. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, he did an exceptional job with the sound.
Yeah, did a really, really good job.
Yeah, I mean,
excellent.
If we were a touring band, he would have I'd have hired him on the spot.
Yeah,
he would have got the job because he was fucking brilliant. He was really good. So, but everyone was there pretty much, other than yourself. So it was good to sort of see everyone. Although I didn't have a whole lot of time to talk to a lot of people, but I tried to speak to as many as I could. You know. It was good. It was good to see, obviously, Chris and Steve-O came down. Obviously, as ex-members of the band. It was good to see them there. And a lot of the usual faces who normally come. And then there's people like you who made excuses up on the night. Oh, I've suddenly got COVID. Oh, I can't come. Oh, heard it all before, mate.
It was a pretty shit excuse. I just wanted to sit at home and play with my balls, to be honest.
Well, who doesn't? Especially when you're thinking about Sylvester Stallone.
Right. Okay then.
Have you never slammed it into Rambo?
What? What did you say?
Have you never slamboed to Rambo?
Slamboed the Rambo.
We're off to a rocky start. Anyway, Phil has also Phil's also left a comment just saying that he went to a festival called Festwitch at the weekend, which is a tribute festival. And apparently half the bands thought they could just rock up and busk it without putting in the hard practice after lockdown. And everybody sort of saw through it. But it was still quite nice to see live music in some capacity, even if it wasn't quite what he would have wanted.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing that, some bands will try and get away with, and it is painfully obvious when a band isn't well rehearsed, especially sometimes they even chuck a replacement member in there and then try and wing it. Some might be good enough to get away with it, especially if people are good at rehearsing at home or whatever. But most musicians... Or
if they're already somewhat familiar with the material.
Yeah, you can wing it sometimes, but 9 times out of 10 it isn't going to sound very good. I mean, we've been quite lucky that in the last year, in terms of rehearsals, I think we've only had, 4 months off, Liam, I think, total? Whichever the...
I was going to... Well, at first we had Toby and his lot shielding, and then in the second major lockdown I was shielding, so...
But I'm talking about when...
It's about...
Yeah,
about 4 months total, probably. 4 or 5 months out.
So that's not been too bad, and obviously we've had
not bad going.
No, we've been able to get round and keep it safe and legal and rehearse still. A lot of people were under the impression, I've said this, that it wasn't legal that you could rehearse, which was absolute bollocks.
It had been legal the entire time after they first ended the first lockdown.
Yeah, and when you've even got, I think it was the Minister for Culture or whatever saying, no, you can do it, and people still going, no, you can't. It's like, he's the guy who's fucking making the law, you fucking idiots. If he says he can, you fucking can. He's the one guy you can listen to on this particular subject. I mean, it's ridiculous, but yeah, it's been 4 months out, but we're fortunate enough to be able to have rehearsed that time, and as a result, we haven't suffered that much live while playing, because we're still in good playing shape, I'd say.
I'd say that was a good thing as well about when we were stuck inside, was that we had, I had my recording set up at home and you had your recording set up at home, so we did most of that writing there, and even though we had, we did have the gaps in rehearsals where we'd end up forgetting a lot of shit because we'd had, say, 2 months out because of a fucking lockdown. But we obviously, that's how we wrote the bulk of the album originally, was just at home in lockdown.
Well,
so
we had a few things, because obviously our train has been hanging about since 2018 almost now.
Yeah, apart from that song, that's been going since mid-2019, probably.
What about Stainkiller? That's one we jammed out in rehearsal mostly.
That was literally
2 years ago, maybe.
The first time we jammed that would have been at the end of 2019, and then the first time we actually started rehearsing it in a proper capacity would have been the week before the first lockdown.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And then when we started actually making progress with it again, we ended up going back into lockdown again. So that became the jinx number.
It was similar with Bath Time as well. That was one we had for a while, that we kind of started rehearsing and then having to keep it down.
Yeah, we first came up with Bath Time at the same time as when we came up with Train.
Yeah.
We were trying to figure out how we could advance Bath Time as a song, and what riffs to add, and then we just decided, fuck it, let's do something different.
Yeah, and what came out of it was a really good song in the end. So
all right, let's keep that.
Yeah, there's been a few that we've had knocking about. The ones I struggled with mostly are the ones that I didn't write, because obviously that's a bit harder.
Yeah.
But
Bright's another one actually. Bright. I've had that song for even longer than Train and Bath Time.
What about?
I've had that since...
Yeah, you've had that a long time, but we've been playing Cheese since. I remember playing it way back when. Remember that time when Toby was really unwell and we were rehearsing in the upstairs.
That was when we
Pioneer.
first. That was when we first started learning it. That would have been the end of 2019 as well.
I don't know. I think that might have been earlier than that.
No, it was the end. I remember it was the end because it was cool up there.
Well, I can.
compared to.
It seems like it was in the dark ages that we were trying to learn that now. It just seems like it was so long ago. But yeah, the whole album's been held up really because of the COVID thing. But at least we've had the opportunity to rehearse and we have worked hard. So we've not fallen out of good playing shape. It's just we need...
I suppose one of the benefits of that as well is that there's been a couple of songs that you've written that have made the album cut that probably wouldn't have been written had you not had the extra time off.
Yeah, like Green to Grey is one that just kind of...
Green to Grey is definitely one of those. Yeah.
Chucked out there, the sort of last thing we did. So, yeah, it's been a weird process, but in terms...
it's funny, actually, you say that, Alex. Sorry, Rage. Because that was, we were talking about Stainkiller, and we weren't sure what to put in there, and there's two riffs in Stainkiller, which is I guess the main lead... and then the whole end section was that was a part of another song which was at much heavier and much thrashier originally that I had written when I was on furlough, being like when I was stuck inside, and I hadn't showed the guys yet, I don't think, and then we were doing Stainkiller and we were like, right, how can we actually advance this? And then that was when I decided, I think I've got a couple of sections here that I think we can put in this. Let's see how it sounds. But so that's probably that's a song that wouldn't have been completed in the form it is now if it wasn't for the pandemic.
No.
So there is that.
We did actually drop one of your songs as well, the one that we started working on. I think maybe before lockdown 2 happened.
Yes,
so we have actually lost a song throughout the process.
Yeah.
I've still got the demos, so...
yeah, well, I've got all the sessions backed up anyway from the video, so we've not lost anything anyway, we've jammed. And of course, we've been working on an EP as well between that, which we need to kind of start knuckling down and start recording for that, because... obviously, we're running out of time. We need to get that out for our Patreon subscribers. And we've got, 4 or 5 songs for that. So we've been very busy in rehearsal compared to a lot of people, I suspect.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, so we're still a fully functioning band, just without the gigs. But now, hopefully, that's the end of all these bloody restrictions and we can start sort of moving on and playing again.
Fucking well, hope so.
Any more on the comments front, or are we all clear on the comments now?
We've got one from David Green as well, saying, great episode. I hadn't even considered returning to gigs yet. I'm not apprehensive or worried though. If they ever return to normal, I'll be there like a shot. The one thing you didn't mention is different venues suggesting different do's and don'ts. And in normal times, I'm more concerned about getting decent train and hotel deals and managing my personal time than wondering what I can and do when I can't, when I get there.
Yeah, that's... It's difficult because so far where we've booked, as far as I'm aware, is standard. So you would turn up as normal and be able to watch the gig as normal. That certainly was the case at Coda. There was no restrictions on Coda. If people wanted to wear masks, it was optional. If people didn't want to wear masks, that was fine as well.
Yeah,
it does seem like gigs, at least, seem to be taking an attitude of we're striving to get back to normal.
The thing is, we've double vaccinated all of the people in the at-risk group that want to be vaccinated. Beyond that, really, you're not going to stop everyone dying from it.
No.
We really need to start. I know it sounds heartless because some people are going to die from it, but we do need to start getting back to normal. I think with, it's one of those things where the government's in a really awkward position because the more it delays getting back to normal, the more the impact is on other aspects. We talk about the danger there is to the NHS being overwhelmed with people with COVID, and I take that point, and certainly took that point more when we didn't have all the at-risk people who wanted the vaccine vaccinated. But the other issue is obviously you have people with cancer, people with operations that need, and it's all being held back because of all these COVID restrictions, and people are dying as a result of not being able to get other treatments.
I think that's one of the worst unseen aspects of all of this, is that in particular the doctor's surgeries and the hospitals aren't running as usual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the cases are falling. The deaths are definitely falling. So I think now, we have to be brave and just say, if you want the vaccine, get it. There's no harm in everyone getting it, but obviously some people have the right to choose not to, as far as I'm concerned. If you are in the at-risk group, you probably should have it, but again, if you don't want it, then it's your own risk. If you don't have it, and we've just got to get going and move on, because otherwise, it could be another year and we're still farting about with it.
Yeah.
We just need to. The economy. We need tax being paid. We need people buying stuff and tax being paid to even have a health service. And if everyone's stuck inside and it's keeping closed down or whatever else, I understand why they've been cautious. But if you look at the data coming in now, we are looking at a positive change. The cases are going down. The deaths are going down. The new Indian variant seems to be more transmissible, was more transmissible to begin with. It doesn't seem to be killing as many people. We have an opportunity.
That tends to be the way with more contagious diseases, though. It tends to be that in order to be transmissible, they have to be slightly less deadly.
Well, it's like the cold. Why is that so successful? Well, because it doesn't kill its host. It can move from person to person without killing them. Diseases that kill their hosts aren't particularly effective in the long run, because once everyone's dead, then what the fuck does it do? Yeah. So I think we are. I think we are on the right path. Some people will become naturally immune to it. Some people will have 2 vaccines, and what will happen is the elderly and the at risk it'll be like the flu jab. It'll be an option at the end of the year, whenever it's most likely to be infection. You go to your GP surgery and you just get
just get your booster jab.
Yeah, and that should be the end of it. That's my view on it. We've done everything we can up to this point.
We are literally we are as strong against it as we can possibly be. We can't get any better at that. So we can either still just continue to do the shit that we were doing before, or we can advance in opening up again and go completely back to normal and forget this entire fucking thing.
Well, let's be honest. We've been living with sort of half restrictions for a while now, and although the cases went up, the deaths again didn't reach the peaks that were previously there.
No, and neither did, not even hospitalizations really did. Yes, they crept up as the deaths did, but the way that it went up was so minuscule compared to the amount of infections there were. And that was, I mean, I know that it was like, they were saying that the younger demographic were mainly getting it. The ones who were unvaccinated were in hospital. But it's like, that just proves that we can't be any safer against this, because of it's the vaccine which has prevented that massive rise in hospitalizations and people dying from it.
It sort of curved the severity.
So, yeah.
And what can you do outside of that? Well, we can't keep.
And you can't do a great deal outside of that. You really can't. You've got to carry on.
Yeah, we can't keep living with all these restrictions in place. As I posted on Facebook earlier today, I just wanted to go and get a packet of crisps and Tesco's, and because I forgot my mask, it was like, oh, that's gonna be a ball ache. The last time I was gonna
at least you weren't one of those people.
The last time I forgot my mask, I got on the bus, and obviously it was fine. I was allowed on, but people looked at me like I'd committed some sort of war crime, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sakes! It's like, well, it was fucking hot anyway, so I didn't particularly want to wear a mask, because anyone knows me knows I sweat for anything, and the more clothing I have on, the less happier I am, because it fucking makes me
you'd
sweat.
have been practically waterboarding yourself in the summer.
Yeah, well, that's what happens to me.
If we were still having to wear masks everywhere.
That's what happens to me. I get all this shit on. But I have worn one as and when I'm required to protect people. I understand that. I'm not going to, put anyone's life at risk unnecessarily. But it's time. I think it's now time. And, for example, I'm going to watch Ipswich Town play Morecambe on Saturday. And obviously they're requiring 2 lateral flow tests, one lateral flow test in the morning to kind of prove that you're not infectious or whatever else, which again I'm fine with doing, but then you're going to have queues at the bloody gates where everyone's having to show their test results, and you're going to have 20,000 odd people trying to get in there. And I know it's just going to be a total shit show before it's even started. And that's the type of thing.
So how are they doing that? Do you have to bring the physical lateral flow, or
No.
do you upload the results?
Yeah, the same way you would do.
Same way as you submit a test. I dare say in future they'll be using the COVID pass for that as well, where you can prove your vaccination status or your negative test or your natural immunity from having COVID in the last 180 days or whatever it is.
Yeah, more bloody administration. Fucking hell.
But that is when you get the app on your phone, it's just literally a QR code.
I don't know.
My phone's too old to use the app, so I have to get texts and stuff, which
is fine because that's fine because you can show that. Most places you'll be able to show that at the door anyway.
Well, speaking of vaccinations, I've got a story about vaccinations, in that I had mine booked in on Thursday last week.
Oh God, yeah, your shit show was.
Well, I had a terrible week last week because my dog was quite unwell and I thought he was going to die. He had to go in for an operation.
Is he doing all right now?
Yeah, amazingly he survived. I thought he was never going to make it because obviously he's an old dog now. But fortunately he made it right through, and he's doing quite well considering. He's still not great, but
that's good news.
For an old dog, he's pretty much doing as best he can, given he's been so unwell. But yeah, so I had to put my dog into the vets to be put under and examined that same day. So I wasn't in a particularly great mood. But I went up to the local vaccination centre to get my jab, and I'm accosted by two, guys who are acting more like bouncers than they are the people on the doors. And I said, well, I'm here for my vaccine. Oh, where's your paperwork? It's like, well, I ain't got any paperwork. Oh, if you ain't got any paperwork, we can't let you in. It's like, why can't you let me in? Can't you look that up? No, we can't look it up. You need a piece of paper. It's like, well, I ain't got any paper. I don't typically drag pieces of paper around with me anyway. It's not only is it bad for the environment, it's a pain in the arse. So there's an argument.
You don't need paperwork. You just need your NHS number. What the hell are they on about?
Yeah,
well, I didn't have that.
Exactly what I said. Yeah,
I didn't have that. I didn't have any of that to hand. I said, well, can't you just look me up? I've got ID on me. I've got my, provisional driving license and bank cards and all the other shit. It's like, you can tell who I am. But they were not having it, and I was just like, well, fuck you then, I'm going home. And I actually called to complain, and I've not had a response yet. So that was a massive arse-ache. But then on Saturday, when Aaliyah was going to get her jab, I rocked up at the Braintree Hospital and said, can you take me? And they were like, no, because you're not on a Braintree doctor's surgery, but there's a private clinic in the town who probably will take you. They do it by appointment, but they're pretty reasonable. So I took a walk down there, and within seconds, like, oh yeah, that's no problem. I was straight in. They jabbed me. I was straight out. The only issue they had was when they looked up the name Sadler on the database and found like 200,000, and they're like, oh, we're not sure which one you are. I was like, we'll look for one in the Cambridge postcode area. That's a start. They just about found me. So so but I just think it was fucking ridiculous. And the conspiracy theorists are like, oh yeah, they're deliberately trying to get you vaccinated. It's like, well, obviously I'm on some sort of list to say, no, I'm above everyone else because I don't need my vaccine. I'm one of the chosen by the lizard establishment to exist post-apocalypse because they wouldn't let me have my jab. But now I've got it, I'm going to die with the rest of you. Like the scum I am. But that was just bloody ridiculous. But going back to the original point, if people are worried about what sort of restrictions are placed on our gigs, at the moment, none. Absolutely none. So feel free to come along. Come along to Switch
Get
Fest.
yourself down.
I can guarantee you there'll be no restrictions at Switch Fest. So if you can get to Ipswich, come on down, have a good time. I'm probably going to watch the football beforehand. It's going to be a good day.
Yep, absolutely.
Who else is on the bill for Switch Fest? Do you know?
I haven't
looked at it.
No, I'm just going to pull it up now if I can.
I've got Facebook open. I'll try and see if I can get the event up.
If I can. We're not been allowed to add it to our page anymore. Like, you used to be able to add events to your page. I think Darren's going to have to add us as a host before it actually appears on it. It's really fucking annoying. So we have...
Oh, is that something to do with the page?
Yeah.
You have to set up like a paid events account or something?
No,
Facebook.
it's the new pages. It's even simpler than that.
Yeah, it's... Yeah.
So we have... do you want me to read it out? I can read it out.
Yeah, you read it out.
It's 2 stages, 1 venue, 14 artists. Darren Smith of Dead Soul Promotions and David T. British, DJ GT Entertainment, God, that's the most Brexit-y DJ name I've ever heard, team up to bring you a day full of music in the heart of Ipswich at the Music Room. Artists confirmed so far are Kaine, Hope Ahead, Will Hunter, Revenant, Behind the Nut, Chris Asker.
I'm sorry, but Behind the Nut.
Behind the Nut.
I'm sorry if they're listening to this, but
I think it's
Adelaja. Laugh at that.
Adelaja, Heidi C. Is that Wayne's Mrs. Heidi? I think that's got to be, hasn't it?
That's got to be. Yeah, that's got to be her.
Yeah.
Blue, spelled with a weird foreign thing at the top. Tink, because why not? DJ GT, is that the Brexit beat DJ? MCs with the bunker beats.
What?
Well, that's funny. It sounds like something out of World War II. So that's Saturday, the 28th of August, at the Music Room Ipswich from 2 p.m. to 1 a.m. If you're not there, you deserve to die.
I agree with all of that.
Yep, I agree with that as well.
So that's my my promo. I should do radio, really, shouldn't I, with that level of delivery and excitement.
You have done radio, and when you did it as a Norfolk farmer.
I was not a Norfolk farmer. That wasn't me. That was somebody else.
No, that was a different Ralph Barrington.
Yeah. I told you I had an email from someone with that exact name, and it was legitimate, and it was missent to me.
What?
Yeah.
Did you set up an email account?
No, it was
related to it.
No. It was just to my regular email from someone called Ralph Barrington, who sent me a load of documents, and was like, "Can you check this over?" And I was like, I responded by going, "I'm not sure you're after the same person." And he was like, "Oh, sorry, yeah, I'm after somebody else." But what are the chances that they were actually called Ralph fucking Barrington? Because that's not even a real name. That's something I came up with on the spot.
That's ridiculous.
So that's actually another thing that actually fucking happened. Yeah, that was a real thing.
It doesn't sound like a real name. It shouldn't be a real person. That my mind doesn't want that to happen.
I'll see if I can dig it out, because obviously I can just search in my emails, because obviously there aren't many people sending me emails with that name. I've got to be honest with you. So yeah, it was just a happy coincidence. Maybe I willed it in the aura of time or some bullshit like that. I don't fucking know.
Who knows? Liam, who are you most looking forward to seeing at Bloodstock?
Oh, okay.
Me.
Well, Devin's the one I'm most looking forward to.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm looking forward to... Fucking hell. Why is it that whenever you ask me a question like this, I always forget who the fuck's on it? Hang on a minute, let me just get it up. I've started listening to a few of a few of the other bands that I haven't really heard already, that I've not been too familiar with.
I've been trying to work my way through pretty much everyone on the bill, so I can make a bit more of an informed decision about who I want to see.
Well, what I've done in terms of making my decisions for the smaller bands that I want to see is literally just, I see the name, think, okay, what's this? Right, click on it. Oh, yeah, that's a kind of metal I like. I'll put that down as a possibility.
Yeah.
But I've been listening to Venom Prison. I've been listening to them this week.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to seeing... I'm looking forward to seeing them. I hope that I get to see Evil and that they don't clash with anyone from Venom Prison onwards on the main stage. I want to see Primitai earlier on in that day as well. And then on the Saturday, you've got Ginger, who have been very elusive to me, because I originally wanted to see them. I first heard of them when I was at Download in 2019, and me and my mate tried to get into the tent where they were playing, but Download vastly underestimated how popular they were, and the tent was absolutely fucking rammed. You could not get, it was going, the crowd was going out of the tent and then halfway down the path. Do
we know when they're going to be on and what stage and stuff?
Well, on the website it says on the Saturday, that means there's an extra band on the Saturday.
Yeah, that's because the only vacancy sort of thing that I could find just from Clash Finder really is that there's a free slot on the New Blood stage, but I don't think they'd be there.
No, they're way too big for that now. I'm also looking forward to seeing I've been listening to a lot of Creator as well. Actually, I haven't listened to Creator for a while, so I was.
Stan is real.
Stan is real.
I support Stan.
I'm looking forward to seeing Paradise Lost as well on that day because they're playing. They're playing Draconian Times in full on that day, so that's going to be a really good set. Looking forward to seeing Priest. Obviously, that's my first time seeing them. Saxon as well. I want to check out Bleed From Within on the main stage as well. They're one of the few, more modern metalcore bands that I actually like a bit of.
When are they on? Which day is that?
They
Sunday?
are on the Sunday, yeah. Sandwiched between Diamond Head and Orange Goblin.
Oh, cool.
So it's a bit of a mismatch in styles across the board there, but whatever.
The way you put it, as if they're getting sandwiched by members of Diamond Head and an Orange Goblin. That just made me laugh. Sorry, I was being immature. Am I evil? You're gonna find out, mate. Right.
There's one more band as well that's on the Sunday that I want to see called Vexed.
Right.
Vexed.
I guess they're kind of like Ginger, but a bit more straightforward, genty, rather than Ginger, which is way more proggy.
Yeah.
But I'd listened to their debut album, which came out a couple of months back, and I actually quite like that. Realised that they're actually from. I know that their drummer's from Harlow because I can remember him. He used to hang around with the lot that I used to hang around with. So
there's a bit of a local connection.
Bit of a local connection there. Another band actually that's on the second stage that I do want to see is Onslaught. They're headlining it.
Oh, they're brilliant. I've seen them several times because they used to come to Thrashosaurus.
Yeah, I do want to see that
quite frequently.
Yeah, I do want to see that.
They're a good band.
I think we've played with them, haven't we? Going back a few years, I think we have actually.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I remember that now. It's Kettering, I think. Yeah, they are good.
Yeah. I'm trying to look at what others there are because I made notes on so many of them.
I feel like I need to rant.
Oh God.
Okay.
Fuck Bloodstock. They won't book me. Fuck them. I'm not going to your shitty festival. And Download. You can fuck yourself as well. What else is there that I don't like? Wacken. Suck yourself off. Who else hasn't booked me? Is what was the other one? Sonosphere. That's not a thing anymore. Ha! You're out of business.
Sonosphere's not been a thing for about 7 years now.
Yeah, and they didn't book us, so fuck them. You're out of business as a result of not booking us. Fuck all the festivals and the music industry. Bodger and Badger for life. Go fuck yourself.
Oh, I had instant mashed potatoes for the first time the other day. Speaking of Bodger and Badger.
There was someone who they loved Bodger and Badger so much. It was like their childhood thing. And I managed to ruin it for them because they had like a, like a Bodger and Badger pin or something on their desk, and I'd said to them, "Oh look, that's Bodger the racist badger," and they're like, "What do you mean the racist badger?" I was like, "Well, didn't you hear about what he said?" And they've gone, "No." I said, "Oh, it was terrible," and I just walked away. The next thing I know, it's been cleared off the desk and everything. It was never spoken about again. Then I thought to myself, the badger was just called Badger. If you liked the programme enough, you'd know that he wasn't called Bodger the Badger.
No, Bodger and Badger, not Bodger the Badger.
Bodger the racist badger. So, apparently he said some nasty things about non-black and white people. So,
fair enough. Okay, then.
Non-black and white people.
Yeah. Non-striped people. Get striped or get
he
fucked.
He only accepts zebras and badgers and penguins.
What other black and white striped animals that exist? I think that's it. I think we've exhausted them in 3. They're quite a niche group.
I heard a great joke courtesy of my smart speaker in my living room the other day.
No story starts like that.
Right.
That's not a way you should start a story. I heard a great joke from my smart speaker.
Yeah. What's black and white and red all over?
Go on.
A penguin in a Tickle Me Elmo.
What? What? What does any of that mean? Have you noticed how those smart speakers can't talk properly? It's one of those things that, even though we're in 2021, like all the automated voices still sound like shit.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
We've got one at work, and it's like, "There's someone at the front door." It's like, what? It's like, what are you saying? It's like, I know some words are in there, but it's said like like the start and finish of every word isn't there. So it's like, it's like, excuse me. And even on loud, it makes even less sense because it's just the same shit, but it's just clipping. It's like, what? What is that saying?
Yes, all smart speakers end up becoming Ozzy Osbourne when they get turned up loud.
They just sound like shit. It's like one of the things you could fix quite easily by having a normal person talk on it. Fucking hell. Pisses me off.
And Satnav's managed to do it fine.
Some do it fine. Others not.
There's
so
an
much.
There's an Ozzy Osbourne sat nav, if I remember correctly.
I need to do my own
There is.
sat nav. As in,
I think you need to do a voice for smart speakers.
yeah. I want to be the new talking clock.
Samuel L. Jackson was meant to be doing a voice for, I think, Alexa.
And he's just going to swear his
That would've
tits
been
off for the
great.
whole thing, so that's going to be really commercially
You have
viable.
either or enabled.
Alexa, stop. I was trying to avoid using the word so that I didn't activate her. But
And listen to it. Did you hear it? It went, it's like, what does it mean? What is it talking about? It's
that's why I was going hard on the generic brand, so I didn't have to use the wake word.
the wake word.
The wake word.
It's like the
Ruin
safety
everything.
word. It's like there's the wake word.
Oh, it's the opposite word for safe word.
Oh yeah, it's the.
It's the word.
Fucking bollocks. Alexa, suck yourself off.
If only Alex's speaker would have gone off then. If only that
Oh,
was
that would've
He's
yeah.
got headphones
fantastic.
on, so he's not gonna hear it.
No, I know. That's what I'm. If only that sound was coming through his TV.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not. Fortunately, we don't have to hear that terrible voice again. Like, it's 2021, for fuck's sakes, make them talk like people. Jesus. If our government can design a virus to kill us all, why can't they sort out the fucking voices on these fucking smart speaker bollocks?
Because he's too busy going to space now. He's bored with his little boxes.
Or old, what's his name? Fuckface?
Jeffrey Bezos.
Oh, Jeffrey Bezos.
Oh, yeah. People are so angry about that, but there's people dying. It's like, yeah, well, he doesn't care about that. He wants to go to fucking space, doesn't he?
Yeah,
He doesn't wake up in the morning
Well, 'cause
going, I'm
that
going to
costs
save
what?
the world.
that costs what, £2 billion out
Yeah.
of the 200 billion that he has.
Yep.
It's kind of a bit of spare change to go into space for him.
With that kind of money, you could send all the poor people into space.
That sounds like a good idea.
That does, yeah.
Let's just get rid of all the
I'd
poor.
like to go to space.
Let's just get rid of all the poor by sending them into Mars. Someone's going to propose that in the future. That's going to be a legitimate political
That
policy.
is going to be, yeah, that is going to be a
They can
political
start their own
manifesto.
planet.
Yeah, go back to your own planet.
That is going to be a political
You have like the
manifesto.
space immigrants trying to get back to Earth, and they'll be like cordoned at the borders.
Pretty
It'd be
Patel,
like-
work your magic.
Oh, she can't even stop them coming here, let alone getting them from fucking outer space. But fucking useless woman. Anyway, God, she's got a jaw like a cracker walnut in one bite. Fuck me. Anyway,
She fucking has. You are right with that.
yeah, fucking. I bet she can dislodge her whole jaw and eat a house.
She unhinges
Yeah,
Like a
violently.
snake.
Start swallowing other immigrants, like trying to sneak their way in. Not from space though. You can't sort that out, can you? You bastards.
Would she be like a snake or would she be like Pac-Man?
I'm going with Pac-Man. I like that. I like the idea of a version of Pac-Man where it's just Priti Patel's head.
Pretty Patel's face chasing immigrants.
Yes.
Oh, the thing is, if that was made into a game, people would buy it. That's something that would sell.
Yeah.
I'm not sure she would like that, but everyone else would enjoy that, I think.
I keep having weirdly good ideas at the moment.
You do. I'm supporting all of them. Bloodstock, if you're listening, this is the shit I want booked. None of this Devin Townsend crap. I want to hear Alex come up with random ideas on stage. Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
on that note, shall we round up this week's show?
Have Devin on the stage while you do that, because he would be laughing his arse off as well at that.
Do you think
he'd be all right with that?
He would be 100% okay with that.
Do you think most of my random ideas he'd actually listen to them?
Have you heard Devin Townsend's random ideas?
No, I've seen his fucking stage show. Makes me look normal. That shit from outer space that drinks coffee. I mean, what is that about?
Yep. And he was sober when he did that. You can't even blame that on drugs.
Nope.
Yeah, he'd been sober for years.
Yep, he had.
Yeah, he's been eating toasters, though. That's his problem. He likes the crumbs at the bottom.
On that note.
He just inhales.
He inhales the crumbs. That's how the bird's eye fish get their crumbs. Is Devin Townsend sucks all the breadcrumb out of the bottom of the toasters and then he fires them at high speeds at cod pieces, and that's how you end up with breadcrumb covered fish.
Does that mean that Devin's permanently walking around with like his cheeks full of breadcrumbs?
Yeah, he's like a hamster.
Just in case he needs to like baste a fish.
And he's like, bird's eye's like, oh yes, give me those breadcrumbs.
Why is he Churchill?
Because I can only do one voice.
You could have done pirate voice and you do Churchill.
Oh yes. Can you give me a
real Churchill? It's Churchill the dog.
give me a cheaper deal of my car insurance. Oh yes. Oh yes, I can skateboard now like a fucking cunt. Oh yes, look at me skateboarding around the city of London like some sort of Yorkshire Terrier, even though I'm a British Bulldog, looking like Churchill, the actual British Bulldog. And fight them on the breaches. We'll fight them on the underground. We shall never surrender. Oh yes, 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 yes.
Right, let's end that
there. Join us next time where we would have been to Bloodstock and probably got a few stories or something. I don't know.
I've got one last thing to mention. Piers Corbin. I can't go without talking about Piers Corbin. For those who don't know Piers, he's the brother of Jeremy Corbyn, who recently, he's one of the biggest anti-vaxxers you can find. He was recently caught out by a couple of kids on YouTube who offered him 10 grand in Monopoly money to change his views on a certain vaccine. What a dick. Check it out. It's fucking brilliant. I love Piers Corbin. Good night.
Have a good week, guys. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.